Today we are here to discuss the chapter Nationalism in India. So first we will start with the example of Europe. Here nationalism was associated with the formation of the nation-based state. This meant a change in the way people thought about themselves. What defined their identity and what was their sense of belongings toward their nation. And let's take another example, that is of our own country, India. What was the root cause of nationalism in India? It was the anti-colonialist movement. So, as people were struggling with the colonialism, they discovered unity in the process. And as they were being oppressed by the British rule, there was a formation of a shared bond which tied many groups together. But the experiences were varied and the effects that were on the different classes and the different groups was different, and hence they had different notions of the colonialism or what we call the British rule. So when under Mahatma Gandhi the Congress tried to put all of these groups into one unified movement, this did not come without in conflict. So this was just this introduction. Now we are going to go on the main topic. How were the Indians being tortured and how did they wanted, how did they try to gain the independence that they were longing so much for? And why was this longing? Why was this strong longing for independence there among the fellow Indians of our country? So, first of all, we'll take the example of the war. So, because of the war, there was a new political and economic situation. There was, increase in the defense expenditure, and this was financed by the war loans, by increasing the taxes, by raising the custom duties, and by even introducing the income tax. So this is the one point. If you want to note, you can note that. The second point which happened here was the villages were called upon to supply soldiers. For example, I'm a person of a village and I'm a young man of a village and I've just got a call that you have to join army and it's our order. You cannot, it's not on your own discretion, it's compulsory. So that's what was happening. The villages were being called upon to supply soldiers. The forceful recruitment which was happening there was a cause for widespread anger. If you're noting, this is the second point. Then the third point is, in 1918 to 1919 and 1920 to 1921, crops failed. Of course, when the crops will fail, there will be a shortage of food. And so there was a huge shortage of food. And this was followed even by a worsened situation. That was the breakout of the influenza epidemic. So you can see that our Indians were in a turmoil. They were getting the worst parts of their life. And so they were thinking that might be after the war, we might lead a better lives. But that did not follow up. Then came our hero into the scene and he was Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi returned to India in 1915 from South Africa where he successfully fought the racism regime with his novel method of mass agitation. So what was this novel method of mass agitation? What was it called in India? It was called the Satyagraha universally though. Satya means truth and Agraha means appeal. So what is the meaning of Satyagraha? Of course, it's the, appeal for truth. So it was a novel method which was discovered by Gandhiji, which he used to fight against the racist regime. And you might have read it into the 9th class civics and we might not go deep into it, but we'll stay with our chapter. So what is this Satyagraha? It is, this idea emphasized on the power of truth and the need to search for truth. And for timing I was not able to remember this, so what you can channelize it as like a wrestler is holding the letter T in his hand. So the T stands for truth, and so the wrestler is strong and so the T is very strong, and by mistake the T falls somewhere and now he has to find it. So the power of truth and the necessity to find the truth. The second thing was that, if the cause was true. For example, I was fighting for independence. Yeah, the cause was true. They were not treating me nicely. They were taking my finances. They were, exploiting my nature. They were doing everything wrong they could. So freedom was something true cause. And if the fight was against injustice, then there was no need of the physical force to, fight the oppressor. No necessity of a physical force. Third point here comes in that, a satyagrahi can win a battle without seeking revenge, or in the book as it's mentioned, vengeance, or by being aggressive. A satyagrahi can use peaceful, non-violent ways to, win the battle. And that is by appealing to the conscience of the oppressor. Okay, so what we will do here is that, we will try and appeal to the conscience of the oppressor and the people. Everyone, including the, oppressor, every person had to be convinced to see the truth. Yeah, this is happening in front of you. You've got to accept it. So they were convinced to see the truth instead of, forcing the truth upon them, instead of forcing them to accept the truth by violent means. So that was the noble method of satyagraha. Gandhiji quoted that by his dharma of non-violence, the Indians could be united. So he launched, he organized many satyagrahas in various places of India. So let's count them one by one, and I'll tell you small techniques how to remember them. So one of them was in 1916, Champaran. So friends, now we'll be discussing how he organized various satyagrahas in different places of India. So first of all, there was Champaran Satyagraha in 1916. This was organized in Bihar to inspire the peasants to fight against the oppressive landlords. The second one was organized in Kheda district. That here the farmers had been affected by the plague epidemic and crop failure. So as a result, they could not pay their taxes and demanded that revenue collection be relaxed. Then the third one was organized in Ahmedabad in 1918. This was among the cotton mill workers. So as you see, these were three very successful satyagrahas. What happened after this? If you want to know more about this chapter, you've got to see my other videos as well. And of course, remember to like, subscribe my videos.